Hey guys, welcome back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be about my state board experience. I posted something on Instagram and I was like, hey, ask me questions about my state board, how it went, how like cosmetology school was, if I didn't answer the questions in that previous video. I just want to apologize that I haven't had time to film like tutorials, even though I said like once I was done I would be more free. But like in between graduating and like taking my tests, I was either hustling and working, taking clients, or um, studying. Or I had family over for the holidays type of thing, or I was out of town for the holidays. And then in January, I was like, fuck, my test is like in a week and a half. So like I had to study. I did film a couple videos, but it was just discouraging when they don't do well. Like when I have 30 something followers and like I get 1,000 views. Like, what is that? But anyways, I just didn't have a lot of time. My priority was like studying, and then now that I got my license, it's been a week. I've just been applying for jobs. I've been trying to be a wife and just do like things and like get my life in order and like kind of try and figure out a schedule. Try and find somebody to assist. That way I can really commit to putting out content, on this day or that day. I was trying to upload this video on Monday. However, what did I do? Applied for jobs, clean the house. Did I have clients? I don't know what I was doing Monday. It feels like 3 weeks ago that it was just Monday. It's Wednesday now, though. Oh, I was shopping for like interview clothes because all my stuff has bleach. But yeah. Anyway, so this video is going to be answering those questions. And then after I took my state board test, I got a lot of DMs asking me, like, what should I use to study, blah, blah, blah. So I'm in California. I live in Los Angeles. I took my test at the Glendale location last Tuesday. It started off, like, really, really bad because the night before, I set my alarm at 4:50. And I'm an early person. Like, if I'm there on time, that's late to me. And like being there 15 minutes early is like on time, and being there like between an hour and 30 minutes early is like when I should be there. You know what I mean? Like that's like on time for me. Like it just gives me anxiety to like go to a new place and not, like what if I miss the parking structure and then it takes 5 minutes to like come around, and you know what I mean? Like just a domino effect of things that like could go wrong. I try to plan for. So my alarm went off at 4:50 and I was like, girl, you ain't wearing makeup because like they gonna hate on you if like you look cute, So I was like, fuck it, I'll just wake up at 5:15. That way, because I didn't have gas in the car, and then I didn't have money to pay for parking. Parking is cash only, and it was $9. So I got $1 back. So parking is $9. Make sure you have cash. And that Tuesday was the morning that it started to rain in LA. If you live in LA, California, I don't know if all California is the same, but like when it rains, like we just forget how to, drive in the rain the first day. So it's the worst. Like there's a lot of accidents. It's just like really bad. We just don't know what to do. Like we freak out, like it's best to leave 2 hours early when it rains because there's going to be an accident. Thankfully nobody, like the accidents that were on the freeway that I was on, I think everybody was okay, but I heard there was a fatality on the 5 that day. So that's really sad. But I didn't know about that until I got there. So I left. So supposedly, I was supposed to wake up at 4:50. Then that morning I was like, girl, that's early. But I didn't realize how hard it was raining. So then I ended up waking up at 5:30. Okay. And then I had to brush my teeth, put my hair in like a low bun. I mean, that's really easy, It was raining. I got dressed. I put my stuff in the car. Made sure I had all my paperwork. You're supposed to take your admissions letter. If you do not have it, if you forget to take it, it's okay. The people at State Board it's kind of like the DMV. Like, it's nice when you get a nice person, but don't expect it. At least the DMV in Inglewood is like that for me. The one in Culver, they're always nice, but if you don't have your admissions letter, you can have them print you out a copy there. They'll let you know that. If they're nice, they'll tell you, but like that's the thing. But just count on having it, that way you don't have to like go through that and like get judged ahead of time. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to stand out the most, or like You just want to go take your test, like stay calm, like truly stay calm. Like I was nervous the week before when like everybody that I was sitting with was like freaking out and stuff, but the day of, I was like, you know what, like I'm just gonna stay chill, blah blah blah. So anyways, so then I had to go to Walgreens that morning and buy a pack of gum so that I could get $10 cash back. And then I needed to go to the gas station, but it was raining so much, and I knew if I got out of the car I was gonna be soaking wet, dripping. Every time I go to the gas station, my card is like, go see cashier. I was like, I don't have time for that. Like, I had to Google like, how can I tell how many miles I have on my Toyota Corolla before I run out of gas? Like, that's literally what I had to do before I hopped on the freeway. So I did that, and it said something like between 30 and 60 for a Corolla. So I was like, okay, I have that much, you know, so I'll be able to make it. So I made it there. I was on the freeway. So I was on the freeway before I made it there. I was on the freeway. I was literally not moving on the freeway for like a good 15 minutes. Like the car was just stuck because one of the cars, like the wheels were like bent this way, and like the police were like pushing it to like turn it around. I don't know. It was insane. So that delayed me, but I still got there around 6:10, 6:15. Which is pretty early. It says that the test is at 7:15 on my paper, and they want you there like 30 minutes ahead of time. So that meant for me to get there an hour ahead. So I was planning on getting there at 6 and like relaxing or like reading a little bit and reviewing. But yeah, that didn't happen. I got there. My friend was already there. We were talking, freaking out, waiting for the lady to come out so we could pay for parking. So yeah, that went down. And when I got there, it looks, so you go in, it's a building. I missed the parking structure the first time. It's like, I don't know, I don't know. I just miss everything all the time. Like, I don't know the area, you know? So I missed it. I busted a U, and then I came back, and then I found it. And it was dark because it was super early, you know? But, you have to go up to the fourth floor. So you go into the parking garage. There's no signal, no service. Once you park in there, you're not allowed to like leave and come back with that same $9 that you paid for parking. You have to pay again. So there's a Subway nearby. We walked to there. It's like literally next door, and like there's other food places in that shopping center, but we just went to Subway because like we know Subway and it was just easier, whatever. So we go in, we park, we waited for the parking lady till like 6:30. We went upstairs in the elevator to the fourth floor, and you walk out of the elevator, you make a right, and then there's a sign, and the main lady is like, did you read the sign? And it says to not block the door and to make line right there. So you make line, push your bag up against the wall, don't have your tripod in the middle of the aisle because they're going to be like, this is a safety hazard and blah, 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 you know, like just push your bag all the way against the wall, like don't be in the way. And then they ask for your admissions letter and the envelope, the sealed envelope that says that you completed your hours. There's a couple ladies who are like calling names, and then they like collect that from you. When they collect that from you, you get placed into a room. You get placed into a room. It's super small, like a work break room type of thing. And there's like, I want to say 6 benches, 4, 5, 6, and then there's one in the back, and then one along the side, like this. And they're like, there's no space for your big ass kid, okay? I sat in the front, and then the manager lady was upset because she said that my bag wasn't aligned with the bench. So make sure that it's not crooked, that it's like right in front of the bench. That way people can walk by with their big ass kids. I was like, sure, ma'am. So sorry about that. You know, just be polite. Don't be a little kiss ass though. Just be polite, move your shit, and then like move on. So then you go, and then like this other lady, the manager or whatever she is, I don't know what she is. She's like explaining you the rules. Don't take your fucking phone. Leave that shit in the car. Once you're done with the practical, you can go down and check your phone. It's not that serious. I didn't check mine. I didn't even have service down there. As soon as I was done with the practical, I went down, dropped my practical, and went right back up to start taking my written test. But the practical, sorry, I'm getting messages. The practical, I felt prepared for it. Um, my school does like this class where you like learn how to do the practical. Fortunately, I was taking it when the education director that I like was still there. Shout out to Rabina. And then Jamie also taught it too. So I had it with one instructor for the first week, the second week, and then the third week. And then the fourth week, um, the director of education tested us. So the first week we learned the haircut and the curl, and we had like orientation. The second week we did the perms, the chemical services, all that stuff, and then the nails and the facial. And then we had a week to study basically. And then the last week of that month, we split up the practical. So we did the first half, and then the next day we did the second half, and then the last day we were tested. So I learned my state board practical stuff with one instructor, and then the second week I was tested by another instructor. I did pass at my school, but there was things that my first instructor told me that I think were wrong, but it's okay because I still passed, and like now I know like don't do that. But yeah, it helped. I think it did help. I think it helped that I had two people tell me what to do and what not to do. But yeah, that was my school. Where's my other questions? But stay calm in the practical. Like there's a book and it's like there's a binder and you have to follow along. Just make sure you're following along. Don't look out the window. Make sure you sweep up all the hair all the time. My friend took the state board test and she told me once something touches the doll head, put it to be disinfected. So what I did was when I went through my kit, I took out the extra combs and clips and I put them inside of my table setup. That way when it was time to pack up everything for the haircut or the thermal curl and I had like clean clips and brushes or whatever and combs and stuff, like it was in my table setup so I could use it for other services. Because once it's out and it's time to set up for a client number 2, like you have to put it away. So I think it's best to like just take out 1 or 2 combs for the thermal curl and then 1 or 2 combs for the haircut and then just stick everything like nicely, cleanly organized into your table setup. That way you don't run out, because once it touches the floor, like it's just easier to throw it to be disinfected and sanitize your hands as opposed to like sanitizing it. Like that's not even, it's just dumb. So that's what I did. That was very helpful. I timed myself the day before with the practical, just with the curls. And then I timed myself with the rolling the perms. And then I timed myself with the haircut. And the tint retouch. Because the tint retouch is like 10 minutes, but it's a whole quadrant in the back. And then you have to like show the sections like nicely and neatly. So I just thought it was important to time myself with that. Oh, and the highlights, because the relaxer is not timed. The PD test and the strand test is like 10 minutes, which is more than enough time. Also, when I took my state board test, if like there's 20 minutes to do something and you step back and you're done, you're done. So what I would do was I would sanitize my hands. I would look around my station only, because if I looked somewhere else, probably I would have gotten confused or nervous or something. Like I sanitized my hands. I would look around and like calmly think like, what am I missing? I would look at the binder and like see, oh, you're setting up for this, that, or whatever. Like I would just relax and like just stay to myself. Sorry, I keep getting text messages. But that really helped me. I looked once, and the one time I did look was during the perms because I forgot to put the protective cream. Like I rolled them up and I was like, yeah, cool, like I'm done. And then I was like, oh shit, like protective cream, So yeah, just make sure you open like the little things over the trash can. It was kind of hard for me to do that because when we set up at school, we had the mirror and then we had the doll head. Luna, we had the doll head on the chair and then we had the trash bags on the side. When you're there, the trash bags or the bins to be disinfected or whatever, the soil linens, whatever, my kid had trash like brown paper bags, so all of that went under the counter. So it was a little inconvenient to like grab my protective cream and like walk all the way over here and then like open the protective cream over there and then come all the way back to my, you know what I mean? Because I was like closest to the window and the mirror was like right against like the wall where the window was. So it's like here, and then the cabinet, and then like the counter, and then under the counter you have to shove like your skateboard kit and everything. That way, like the proctor, when they walk around, they can walk around and see what you're doing, and then they don't trip on your stuff. So yeah, and they're gonna tell you that like when you're doing your orientation, they're gonna say that like a proctor fell and like they were not working for like 3 weeks or something, and like no proctor, no test. Like that's literally what she says. So yeah, just be cautious of that. So like it does, for me, I feel like it wasted time for me to like take an extra step and do that. But like you have more than enough time. Just stay calm and relax. Like don't worry about anybody else. If you don't finish, I would say just continue to be sanitary and stay calm. I was really nervous for the haircut because when I took it at school, I like totally messed up my curls. What I did was use like the smallest curling, or my smallest Marcel that came in my kit, as opposed to a 1 inch, because it held for a tighter curl. Also, I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I put hairspray in my doll head the night before. And then I sectioned a thin mohawk and I did a blowout on it. That way, when it was time to do my section for the curl, like I didn't have to stress too much about getting a clean section. It was just about, doing the curl itself and getting subsections for it. So that really did help me. What else? Yeah. My haircut, I was the first one done. And my haircut was perfect to the T. I was like, dang, girl. But I should have checked it. I didn't. I was just nervous. Like, I cut it and I was like, that's it. Like, I'm done, sanitized. And I stepped back and I was like, I'm not even going to, it was like too late already. So, yeah. Make sure you step back when you're ready, because if everybody's done and you're the last person and you step back, she's going to come around and start checking. Okay, next. Oh, yeah, but for me, my practical was kind of easy because I studied and I practiced and I felt prepared. So after the practical, you go downstairs, you drop your kid off, and then you go upstairs. I still left my phone because it was the written test. I left my phone. I just took my keys and my ID. The lady, that's when they take your picture. And then you put your keys and your ID in like this big old obnoxious folder. And then they walk you to a station and then you begin to take your test. You're allowed to like skip questions and mark them. That way you're reminded to go back. What I did was just like power through the questions that I knew. There was 8 questions where I truly was like, I don't know. Like I kind of know, but I don't know. Like truly didn't know. It's like either between this and this, So I feel like if that's the case, like you don't know it. So I marked it and I was like, let's just go through, because I felt like if I could see like, oh, I already hit 75 that I knew, then I could stress a little bit less, So there was like 102 questions that I genuinely felt like I knew. There's 110. I heard that you only need to get 75 and the other 10 after the 100 are extra. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's how my test went. So there was 8 that I didn't know, that I just skipped 8. And then after that, you go downstairs and you sit in your car and you wait until I think it's 1:30. Yeah, we went up like at 1:30. And then you go back into the room with the benches. You don't have to sit where you sat before, at least not when I took my test. But I did, so I was in the front. And then the lady called up all the barbers, and then she was like, either congratulations or like explaining to you your score, or how to reapply. I don't know what she was telling them. So everybody's like, pass. She's like covering it with like a piece of paper, and I'm like, ooh, I can't. Like I could see it for a while, and then she could tell that I could see it. So then she covered it with another piece of paper, and I was like, damn, I can't see it. And right when she did that, she called my name, and I was so nervous. I was like, dang, I don't even like know if I got my license or not, which is the point, obviously. And then she asked for your ID. And she's like, congratulations. And I'm like, wow. Like, as soon as I got my paper, I was like, wow, like, that's it. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? I was so, like, I felt a huge relief off my fucking shoulders. Like, a weight, truly. Like, once you're done with cosmetology school, it's like a little bit of stress removed. And then you're stressed again because you're like, I need to get my license. And then once you get your license, you're like, weight removed. And then you get a little bit of stress again because then you have to get a job, Unless you already have one. But yeah, that's how I was feeling, and that's how I was feeling last week, so I was applying for jobs. So about cosmetology school, staying motivated. The first month I was excited because you just started. You're excited to like do hair. You think you can do hair. You think you can do haircuts. My first month at school, we just did cutting. And then we had a flex week, which was like an extra week in that month. So during flex week, I was just a little irritated. Like I left early that Thursday. I usually was there from clocked in 8 to 7, and I left at 4, which is a time that the full time students leave. I was like, I can't do this. I need to go home. Like I just felt like it was too much. I needed to go home. So I left early that day. I was just irritated because my bob was not coming out right and like nobody was helping me. So I left early, and then I was excited to come back the following week because it was a new month, and I was gonna do coloring, and I really thought I knew coloring or liked it. I didn't know anything about the color wheel. I probably still don't know shit about the color wheel. So coloring was confusing. I had a teacher for a week and a half. I think she left on a Wednesday, and then after that, I had three different teachers a day, and like there was points where we were sitting upstairs like in the dark, waiting for a teacher because we didn't have a teacher. So the first week I was motivated, but I was like stressed because I didn't get it. But I was still excited for cosmetology school and like learning. So then after she left, my enthusiasm died down. My teachers, I didn't really care for them. Like I just wasn't excited. I wasn't having fun. It wasn't the same experience for me that I saw when I was in my first month, that I saw the kids ahead of me getting. So I was just irritated the second month. Like I felt like I was just having a really bad experience. I was just very upset with my school. Not with the teacher for leaving, but the fact that they didn't have a backup plan, or like I don't know, they kind of just threw us around because there was just like 3 students, in my class. So like that sucked. So it was like I wasn't motivated. And then the third month came, and I was like finally on the floor, and like we started to take clients or whatever. So I was motivated again because I was like, I'm gonna do somebody's hair. And then from I want to say the 4th month to that's February, March, April, May, June, July, August. My 4th month to my 7th month, it was black because like they were like, the school is moving, and then the school never moved until like 7 months later, when they had told us like hella early that the school was gonna move in a month or so. And it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. I wasn't happy with my experience at my school. I think when I went to cosmetology school, my school was kind of figuring out some things, and like a lot of things were changing. So nothing was like secure. I was not happy with my school. I actually went to tour like other cosmetology schools. I was really seriously, genuinely looking into transferring. That's how upset I was because there was hella students, and there was like very few teachers. I felt like very few teachers had the energy to like teach, and like I'm super mellow, I'm super sarcastic, like I'm usually a chill person, but like when it comes to learning, like I'm a nerd, and I feel like I was learning more gossip than I was like hair. And I was like, why am I like I'm not I just wasn't happy. Like I hated my school. It stressed me out like every day. There's so much drama in cosmetology school, and it just sucked that like I felt like I wasn't learning that much. I didn't get a lot of color clients until I want to say September, my last 2 months at school. I didn't get a lot of color clients, which sucked. And there weren't really a lot of color teachers there when I was there because everybody was leaving or like cutting or like styling, and the classes ahead of me were so big that like they were priority over mine. And because I was graduating early, I just felt like I got cut short. Like I don't know. That was my experience with cosmetology school. And then once I hit 1250 hours, I fucking zoomed the fuck through my program. I was there as much as I could be. I was there. Normally, I'm supposed to do 30 hours. I was doing like 47 or 52 hours a week. Like, I definitely accelerated through my program. I like lived at school because I'm an early bee. Like, I get there early and I'm the last one to clock out type of thing because I'm trying to get every minute counts. Like, don't fuck up your fucking financial aid. Like, there's people that don't even qualify for financial aid, so be grateful that you have it, and take advantage of it in a good way, not like abusing it. So after that, yeah, I was in school for like a month and a half and I graduated early. Where was my test? It was in Glendale. How was my skateboard experience? I think my experience was good. I'm grateful that I was prepared and I got my license. Areas I struggled with in the beginning. Oh, so when I first started cosmetology school, and we were cutting, I was like the only one that never held a pair of shears. Like, I didn't even know they were called shears. I when I went into cosmetology school, I was a makeup artist. So I was like, I want to do hairstyling to complement like my client's bomb ass makeup, you know? Um, and then we started cutting and I was like, can we start curling? Like I wanted to do updos, I wanted to do bridal stuff. And I still would like to learn those kinds of things. We didn't learn a lot in school. But yeah, I was like maybe cutting isn't for me. I felt like none of my haircuts were coming out. Like I was the slowest one. Like I was always the last one, or I never finished a haircut. It was just very stressful. Um, and I didn't feel comfortable cutting. And I don't think I truly felt comfortable cutting until like my last month at school because I was kind of like just cutting however I wanted. And then outside of school, once I graduated, I found a new love and passion for cutting. Um, which kind of sucks that it didn't happen when I was in school. Like, I didn't have the energy or the love or passion or patience for it. And I have a lot of patience. I couldn't do, like, it wasn't interesting to me. Um, I didn't have a heart for it. And I wish I did because there was really good cutters at, instructors there. But I just couldn't get into it. I was like, that's not my thing. Like, I don't want to cut nobody's hair. I don't want to accidentally get used to, like, getting cuts on my hands. Like, I was just not about it. But that was that. And then, how long was my... Okay, so in California, it's 1,600 hours. And then you do, like, 30 hours a week with your part-time. And then your program is 13 months. My program, I started in December and I ended in November. November is the 11th month plus one. But, see, I finished early November. So it was like 11 and a half months that I was in school. I graduated like 2.5 months early. Yeah. Was it worth it? I think it was worth it. I think I've been played a lot when it comes to like beauty school, like with makeup school, now hair school. Like I just feel like I've been played, and I would recommend people to go to my cosmetology school now and not when I was in it. And I would recommend going to cosmetology school when you have an easy year, when you have the time for it, because it's all about hours. Like your attendance is like you clocking in and you clocking out. And if you have financial aid, like your attendance affects your financial aid. You have to be at a certain point. You can't miss all the time. There's people with kids that went through it. There's people, like I don't have a kid. I can't talk about that experience. I know it's hard for my friends who did have kids, but some of them were there all the time. Some of them, like we're all in different like places in our lives, but I would just suggest to do it sooner than better. But don't do it now if you have too much going on. Like I wouldn't suggest missing too much, especially in the beginning, because in the beginning that's where you get your foundation. You figure out what you like, what you don't like. It's up to you. Like truly is like, you know how in college you can just go and sit in class and then leave whenever. You can't do that there, because if you leave and you're clocked in, like you could get everybody in trouble. Like don't be doing that. Favorite area, I always loved color and I loved like styling with braids. um yeah, I like coloring. I want to be a colorist. I need a haircut like all of this, but it's finally growing. Why is this so long? Whatever. Oh, I might change my hair for work. But anyways, who inspired me for makeup? Patrick Starr inspired me. I met him the day before Valentine's Day in 2016 with my homegirls from Target, and he was like, "Girl, your makeup is bomb," and I was like, "What the heck?" And then he told the same thing to my friends, and I did their makeup, and I was like, "What the heck?" So then I started doing makeup, and he was so sweet. And yeah, he's like brown, and like I feel like there was not a lot of brown people for me to look up to. Or like I would watch like Manny MUA and Kathleen and all these Jaclyn Hill, you know, these lighter people, and I'd be like, those looks, I can't do cool tone looks. Like I never got like I never understood the love for it because I never felt like it complemented like my warm tones in my skin. I was like, where are all the people with the melanin, you know? So I was like, you know, I have to be that person. I have to be there for my brown people, for, you know, the people with no skinny ass nose, like big features. Like I just wanted to be the brown girl that like anybody could look up to, you know? So yeah, so now I inspire myself. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Patrick Star definitely inspired me. I really love how sweet Kathleen Lights is. I just feel like she's super genuine. I love how fucking real Jenny 69 is. Orpha, I think that's how you say her name. I met her too. She's really cool. I just want to be me. Like I don't want to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. Because even though like I love Patrick Star, I just don't have that same energy. Like I'm super monotone all the time. I do get excited though, like when I'm comfortable, like you know, you get to see my personality, but for the most part I'm super mellow, super chill, like that's just who I am. Somebody said, what did I use to study? So my friends who took the state board, they were using a link from state board. I don't know if you go to the state board website and you like buy it, like I don't know what tab it's under. But, excuse me, I will leave the link in the description below. If you're in California, that's the link that I used. I don't know if it's the same everywhere else. I mean, like, it should be, but we all have different hours. So, I don't know. Just go to your state's cosmetology website, and there's going to be, you know, where they have, like, the free practice test? Well, there's an option to buy one. Like, to buy, like, I don't know how many thousands of questions. And I honestly use that to study as opposed to the textbook that we filled out at school. If you're going to use a textbook, I would suggest going through the glossary and not, you know, the BS that you filled out to get credit, like, throughout the year. The glossary really helped me with, like, the nail words, and, like, alkaline waves and cold waves and acid waves and whatever they were. I feel like I need water. But yeah, that really helped me. Yeah, I just studied like the test. I feel like the questions on that state board website were the most similar to the ones on my actual state board. And on my test, I don't know. Part of me is like, are they all different? Are we just like complaining to make it seem like the test was harder than it was? I don't know. They say that there's these different versions, but I'm just curious like how different they are. My test really did not have much anatomy, maybe 2 questions, and that was probably 2 out of the 8 questions that I didn't understand or like didn't know. I had like 2 or 3 questions on nails, but I knew like 1 of those questions. Most of my stuff was like sanitation, bacteria. There was a couple questions on hairstyling. But most of it was like safety and infection control and things like that. Like that's what my test was. I'm not going to say just study that and don't study anatomy, but what I studied and I passed, you know, apparently all the tests are not the same, but I studied a little bit of facials. There's a couple, like 2 questions on facials on my test. I studied the microbiology. I studied chemical services. There's a lot of chemical services like the waves and stuff, and pH and alkalinity, or is that even a word? I don't know. So I did chemical services, hair coloring, hair cutting. There's questions on hair cutting, and electricity. There was a couple questions about like Tesla waves or energy. I don't know, Tesla something. Whatever those, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I did not study anatomy and physiology. I was like, fuck, like I just can't. I don't know why. Like I just couldn't do it. I was like, I don't want to. I didn't want to, and I didn't. I was like, if I fail, like it's my fault, and like I'm asked out because now I had to pay more. But fortunately, what I studied was enough, and I think I did really well on my test. But yeah, expectation for state board. Oh, somebody at school asked me this. I didn't know what to expect at all. The room is not that big. You can see when in the room that I was in, I could see the barbers taking their test, and then I could hear next door. It's like a dressing room with curtains. So you know how like it's divided with walls, and then there's just curtain. Like you can hear the timers going off for this, like the testers next to you. You can hear all of that. But just focus on you. Um, if you are in LA or like surrounding areas and you go to Jazzy's Beauty to like view the demo or whatever, the way that the room is set up is the way that State Board is. So this is a room, and then this is the proctor station. This is a wall. Hold on, my ugly ass demo. And then I think there's like 4, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do 5. Let's just do 10. And then in the back, there's like this big ass thing, this counter. And then there's like little shampoo bowls here. And then the trash can is here. And the broom is here. Okay, so, sorry, this is my loan envelope. So you walk in from like all the way over here. You're walking. And then she's going to be like, you go here, you go here, you go here, you go here. This is the wall. This is the window. This is the window. Back here's a big ass counter. So if you're here, like, oh, it's flipped on here. But if you're here, like I was, like, this area is so uncomfortable and it's small. And like I'm right-handed and everything had to be like, I don't know, it just felt really far compared to how we set up at school. And then don't forget to put water in your water bottle and water in your perm solution thing. You know what I'm talking about? When you do the saturation, don't forget to put some water in there, and don't let that touch the perm or the hair. Like it has to, like, you can't rub it. So yeah, this area was uncomfortable. You set up your tripod, and then there's a trash can, and there's brooms over here that you use to clean up the hair. Apparently some proctors can be mad if you don't sweep up all the hair and that hair continues to stay there throughout other chemical services. So if you see hair later, like I picked it up with a paper towel and then I just threw it in the trash. You could go and get the dustpan or whatever. I'm not sure, but I just sweep it up and make sure there's no hair on the towels if you practice ahead of time. And then in the middle, right here, if you have to use the restroom, they make you sign in and out. And then I heard next door some girls like, oh, I don't have water in my water bottle, I think. And she's like, well, you can go downstairs to the vending machine and buy water, even though there's a restroom on the floor. So you can go downstairs to the vending machine and buy water and fill it up and come back. But the test is not gonna stop for you. So just make sure that shit is filled to the top with water. But yeah, the setup is just like that. Make sure everything's under the counter. There's a table under there and there's a little stool. When I did my facial, I was the only one sitting down. I was like, I don't know, they told me I could sit down, so my ass sat down because I was over. I needed to like relax and chill and like, you know, prepare myself for the nail portion. But yeah, I think those are most of the questions that I got. Somebody asked me how much debt I'm gonna be in. My tuition was like, let's say 25, let's just round up. 25,000, and then I got about 10,000 in Pell Grants. It was like 8 or 9, and then I had to take out 2 loans for another 10K, and then out of pocket we paid 5K. We did monthly payments because I could have taken out a parent loan, but then like my mom, that would be under my mom's name. Like we just weren't about that. She's like, that's your shit. Like you gotta do your shit, you know. So we ended up doing the monthly payments, and we pay like $465 a month, every month. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I would recommend using that link to study. I'll leave it down below. If you guys have any other personal questions about State Board or specific questions about it, like feel free to send me a DM or leave it in the comments below. I always respond to those. Yeah, this video is so long, but it was just a lot of questions that I got. I really truly hope that it helped. Good luck to everybody who's gonna take their tests. This career, this industry, I think it's definitely worth it, especially like where we are today. People always get their hair done, people always get haircuts. So don't let anybody downplay what you do. Like if you're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a hairdresser, bitch. I fucking do hair. And like I'm good. Like don't be like, oh, I do hair. Like don't brush that shit off, because then they think it's okay to just brush that shit off. Or like when you want to charge them, they want to be like, that's a lot for a haircut. Bitch, my tuition was a lot. So, the fuck? But anyways, I don't know why I got all aggressive. I hope this video helped. I got some shit to do today, but I'm going to try and film some mini tutorials tonight because I don't have any clients. I had an interview today. I think it went well. I'm excited. He was really cool. But yeah. All right then. Have a good day, guys. I hope this helped. Yeah, feel free to hit me up whenever. Love y'all. Y'all haven't seen my pink hair. I did my hair pink like the week of, like right before New Year's. So that's how like inactive I've been. I haven't even had time for selfies. So maybe I'll take some today. But yeah, thanks babies. Love you. I hope you guys enjoy my tutorials that are gonna drop. Peace out.